Ladies and gentlemen, this year a judge tossed out a Trump lawsuit against Twitter. And top officials at Twitter, Politico, judge tosses Trump's suit against Twitter. TechCrunch, judge tosses Trump's lawsuit over his lifetime Twitter ban. Reuters, U.S. judge dismisses Trump's lawsuit challenging his Twitter ban. Why was the lawsuit dismissed? The judge said, well, the First Amendment only protects against government interference. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Be at the live stream tonight or this evening at 5:45 p.m. for the Twitter Files Part 5. The First Amendment only protects against government interference. Oh, what's this? National Review. Twitter executives met with Federal Bureau of Investigation weekly. Documents show. That's the National Review, Reason Magazine. Twitter Files. Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Homeland reported tweets for information that misinforms. Then you have a former Bureau official, a top attorney, Baker, who was a part of the Durham probe, and before that, a part of investigating Trump, working at Twitter. But the judge tossed out, so Trump sued Dorsey Twitter top officials. Okay, Trump sued those, he sued Twitter, stating that they had no right to ban him because they didn't. They had no, we found out, especially from the Twitter Files Part 3 and Part 4, they were making things up. Okay, when they couldn't find an actual, like they couldn't accuse Trump of criminal behavior. So there are laws that predate Twitter regulating speech. Yes, there are consequences. Those are legal consequences. If you want to say, well, it's a private company, fine. But when they're meeting with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, it now becomes a First Amendment issue. The rebuttal will be, oh, well, there's a criminal probe. There wasn't before January. Sorry. There wasn't before January of 2021. Okay? So, all of the criminal probes pertaining to Trump right now, like the pressuring government officials in January that the special counsel's looking at, and that happened after Trump had lost. And he was banned after. But before he had lost, Twitter was already meeting with government officials, the United States government, people who were loyal to the Democratic Party within the government. And, like, for the record, I believe, H.A. Goodman believes, I believe, I'm H.A. Goodman, speaking in the third person, I believe that the majority of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the vast majority, like 99%, are wonderful, good people who want to protect society, protect the country, and defend the Constitution. There are people who are individuals, like in any company or corporation or bureaucracy, who side with the Democratic Party, who are loyalists. We know that Comey and Strzok and McCabe and Clapper and Brennan, these were government officials who sided with the Democratic Party. Their allegiance was to the Democratic Party. They sided with that political party against Trump. Now, there's a problem when Twitter is meeting with government agencies. The pretext is, oh, well, Trump was such a menace that even the government was meeting with a private business. They all turn into like this, like, whenever Trump is like the embodiment of evil to these people. So it's like the wonderful, morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat doesn't know of Hunter's corruption, 150 like seriously, like, not just flawed, like financial transactions that are obvious graft, potential bribery schemes, not just kickbacks, felonies that CBS News reported on that financial institutions were investigating pertaining to Hunter and Joe and everyone around them. Joe Biden lied about knowing and meeting with Hunter's business associates. He did so because he was very likely committing crimes. Democrats can never accept these things. Uranium sale, private servers, Hunter. The criminality is there. Even Comey, you can watch the short on this channel. The Honorable Director Comey stated, laws were broken with Hillary, but no reasonable prosecutor would indict. By the way, I think Hillary is going to be the 2024 Democratic Party nominee. I'm right more often than I'm wrong, people. I'm wrong sometimes. Okay? I've been wrong over the years, but I've been right, like, a lot. Pertaining to the stock market, I said it's going to tank, and it did. The economy, I said it's going to be a recession. We're going to have even a worse recession. Watch the stock market. I said crypto would tank. It is tanking. And this is when nobody was saying these things. And I said Clinton would lose to Trump. Am I right? No, I'm not right about everything. I've been wrong. But my track record is a lot better than other people on YouTube. And so I think Hillary Clinton will be the Democratic nominee in 2024. But I'm hoping it's a Hillary-Trump rematch. But if we get Hillary DeSantis and DeSantis proves himself, fantastic. But Trump was, the entire American political system was leveled against him. And I think now he's understandably tired of everything. I think there's some fatigue for, like, in terms of just dealing with so much and experiencing so much and seeing all of these, corporate giants and tech giants and government loyalists just leveled against him. So he's kind of like, okay, dinner, and then a bizarre statement about the Constitution. He's still on Truth Social, but he has to get back on Twitter. Donald Trump must get back on Twitter. I never thought I'd say that because I thought Twitter was a liability to him his last year in office, but it was a liability primarily because of the manner in which Twitter was run, but also some of the things he was saying. He just has to tone down a little bit of the hyperbole, focus on communicating, become the 2015 and 2016 Trump. Nothing can stop him. But anyway, the government was involved. Okay? We know from the Twitter files the United States government was involved. There was no reason for the government to be involved. He had not committed a crime. He still hasn't committed a crime. How do we know this? Because Merrick Garland has not indicted him. Say it very slowly and try to remember this. Wonderful, highly educated, morally superior, liberal Democrats who look in the mirror and say, I'm saving the planet. I'm making humanity safe from Trump. Say it slowly. Trump has not been indicted on anything. Hillary could have been. Comey said no reasonable prosecutor would indict. Apparently, they found another unreasonable prosecutor. First it was Mueller, now it was this other special counsel, Smith, to find nothing with Trump. Okay, now Trump gives them a lot of free publicity. He plays into a lot of their Trump manipulates the press, but they manipulate him also, which is why DeSantis is rising. And if he proves himself, he might be, unstoppable. Just like Trump would be unstoppable if he becomes the 2015, 2016 Trump. But he's been through so much. Now, almost certainly he's going to sue again. Because now we found out that Twitter was working with the United States government. If the rebuttal is, well, there was you can't say, because Dorsey and others under oath, you have people under oath saying that Twitter did not discriminate against Republicans or conservatives, did not censor, but that was a lie. So you have perjury issues also. I mean, at a certain point, even the most liberal D.C. judge or federal, judge or state judge has to say, okay, these Twitter files show that government was involved. These Twitter files show that individuals at Twitter were desperate to stop Trump and ban him because with all the disdain and animus and vitriol and all the apoplectic, hysterical coverage of Trump from 2015, people, It's been 7, it's going on 8 years now. It's an obsession. It's an unhealthy, irrational obsession of the morally superior, highly educated, wonderful liberal Democrats. They are obsessed with Trump, but they can't find anything. They can't find anything to indict him on. You can indict Hunter or Hillary tomorrow based on servers siphoning classified top secret intel. I mean, private servers. Could you imagine if Trump had private servers? Could you imagine if he had private servers? Everybody would be saying he'd be writing love letters to Vladimir. But no, Hillary, no. It's fine. I said, I think she'll be the nominee. I think she'll easily surpass Biden as the nominee in 24. And it'll be a rematch. I think that's really what all of the past 7 years was about. It's just a rematch. You know what? We're gearing up for a Hillary-Trump rematch again, or Hillary DeSantis. But they've obsessed over Trump, and they can't find anything on him. So what they did was they know that half the country does not trust Democrats. They know that half the country distrusts and is suspicious of the Democratic Party. Democrats do not like any emotions that they have towards Trump leveled at them. So what happens is they're desperate to just, utilize the power they had at that moment with contacts in the U.S. government to find some way to ban Trump. And they did. And the judge initially tossed out the case against Twitter with Trump because they said, well, it's the First Amendment. Well, now we have government involvement. And Trump could very well go after individual. You could pierce the corporate veil when it comes to, you can't just hide behind a corporation if you're doing something illegal or unethical or So if you're doing something illegal, a lot of what these Twitter employees were doing is not necessarily legal. They were conspiring and trying to find some way, even though they didn't have the guidelines, they actually didn't have the guidelines or protocol, to actually ban Trump. He didn't do anything that warranted that. Then they say, well, his tweets incited people trying to overthrow the United States government. Again, the laws governing speech predate Twitter, and they couldn't use any of those statutes to get Trump. Because guess what? This is going to come as a surprise for the wonderful and morally superior among us. Nothing he said on Twitter compelled or influenced anyone to commit a criminal act. Just like when Democrats presided over fiery but mostly peaceful and a CNN journalist had a building in flames behind him. It was a whole summer of $1 to $2 billion in property damage, 19 lives lost, and I support and respect why people were demonstrating, but not the carnage, which Democrats didn't care about. That one day, though, you better believe they politicized, like they politicize every tragedy. A madman commits a mass atrocity. Oh, it's the inanimate object. If we just ban the inanimate object, nothing bad will happen. Yeah, well, evil people, unfortunately, don't follow laws. You can ban a lot of things. People intent on committing a crime, criminals, they don't follow the law. That's a bizarre. It's something that the morally superior among us have a very tough time accepting. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. Twitter files were the most important revelations since the Democratic National Committee emails that showed us that, oh, by the way, that's right, Bernie Sanders was cheated, even though they said it was fair and neutral. Basically, whenever Democrats open their mouths, they're lying. Most of the time. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. Be here tonight for the live stream at 5:45 p.m. Thanks, everybody.